So I want to share something with you. This idea that as a people, it's not too close, that as a people, we are not just Homo sapiens, we are Homo neurans. Homo neurans, it means that we are storytelling creatures. Okay? We tell a story about who we are as a people through the archetype. So the idea is that these aspects of God were already named by an earlier collective of people. So that way we could then see how God shows up in our lives. So I want to show you from the perspective of the Israelites and their archetypes and how they told their stories, and then go back to how I say for us as those who practice African spirituality of Lukumi, how we are like the Egyptians, because this is the story that they create for you, and this is the story that we create for you. So, for example, you had Father Abraham, who had many sons. He was dark because Hagar was the concubine. That was the socio-historic and the cultural position that she existed in as a woman in that historical time period. And so, Daddy God, I gotta put that up here, Yahweh. So, Daddy God shows up in the desert as Daddy God because he heard the baby crying. He heard Ishmael crying. And he sends the divine mother. You have Jacob, who had 4 baby mamas. Remember in the story of Jacob and Leah and Rachel, Jacob wanted Rachel. That was the love of his life, but he was tricked and he was given Leah instead. Leah was the woman who produced the most of his kids, and Rachel was barren. So when she finally gave birth, when God blessed her with children, she gave birth to Joseph, right, who was the baby boy, who was the beloved child. You see the archetype of Cain and Abel, how Cain killed his brother Abel, right? This idea of Cain synchronizes with Ogun in African spirituality. This synchronizes with Ares in Greek mythology. This aspect of the animal shadow that is just pure violence. So we have the Lobo, who is the animal shadow that is kind of sexual in nature. We have Cain, who is the Ogun, who is just pure violence. So then, as the Egyptians, right, as you know, we have our own gods and goddesses that we practice, that we worship. So this is what we look at, how we view Black culture. You have Black people here, and then you have Los Moreno Hispanos. So what I want to challenge you to do as a woman is look at the story that the man creates for you as a woman. Because if you have a man in your life that shows up as Daddy God, this is what he's looking at all of these different men. He's looking at their archetype. So you could bring a man to him and say, Daddy, look, I found me a man. And he'll get to looking and he'll say, nah, sweetheart, not that one. Because he's going to have to mirror me. He's going to have to mirror Daddy God. And I'm Daddy God. I gave you a place to be for the last 27 years of your life. I watched you grow and blossom in your affluencia and become the woman that you are today. I need these men to mirror me. So, Father Abraham had many sons. God still blessed Father Abraham, but he was dark. Jacob, although he had 4 baby mamas, and although he took good care of his kids, all 12 of his kids, and he was still the good shepherd, you had Rachel, who was the love of his life. This is the one I want to be with. You had Leah, who was just the baby mama. And you had the other 2 baby mamas who didn't even have speaking roles. Then you have Cain, and how Daddy God had to step in and check Cain's violence, his heart posture. So, again, I want you to begin to think about the story that a man creates for you in your life. And you learn these archetypes from family. So, as a gender nuanced man, growing up like a shepherd boy, this is what I saw growing up. I had a Mufasa because that's just what happens when you're a man. I had Mufasa. I had men in my life that I could turn to and showed up as Obatala. That you as a woman have to remember that Daddy God is wholeness. Daddy God is love. So just look at the story that he is creating for you as a woman. Look at that story. Is it Daddy God? Is he looking out for you? Is it Ochosi? Is he looking out for you? Is it Oshumare, the good shepherd? You tell me. Because that's where you're going to find love. Because God is growing a family. The most loving thing God could do is to give you a place to be so you could grow.